Hi, everybody. Good morning. So, we are now in the book of Job, chapter 3. Oh, first of all, welcome back, y'all. Um, Welcome back to the book of Job. So, if you are new here, I am covering the book of Job this month, where I'm just reading the book of Job, each chapter in Jobs, in the book of Job, and then just giving my 2 cents, and then I welcome everybody in the comments to also share like what they feel, what they think, how the Lord has spoke to them within each book or verse that I'll be reading in the book of Job. So let's go ahead and dive into Job 3. Okay. So it says, "At last Job spoke, and he cursed the day of his birth. He said, 'Let the day of my birth be erased, in the night I was conceived. Let that day be turned to darkness. Let it be lost even to God on high, and let no light shine on it. Let the darkness and utter gloom claim that day for its own. Let a black cloud overshadow it, and let the darkness terrify it. Let that night be blotted off the calendar, never again to be counted among the days of the year, never again to appear among the months. Let that night be childless. Let it have no joy. Let those who are experts at cursing, whose cursings could rose Leviathan, curse that day. Let its morning star remain dark. Let it hope for light, but in vain may it never see the morning light. Curse that day for failing to shut my mother's womb, for letting me be born to see all this trouble. Why wasn't I born dead? Why didn't I die as I came from the womb? Why was I laid on my mother's lap? Why did she nurse me at her breast? Had I died at birth, I would now be at peace. I would be asleep and at rest. I would rest with the world's kings and prime ministers, whose great buildings now lie in ruins. I would rest with Prince rich in gold, whose palaces were filled with silver. Why wasn't I buried with the stillborn child, like a stillborn child, like a baby who never lives to see the light? For in death the wicked cause no trouble, and the weary are at rest. Even captives are at ease in death, with no guards to curse them. Rich and poor are both there, and the slave is free from his master. Oh, why give light to those in misery, and life to those who are bitter? They long for death, and it won't come. They search for death more eagerly than for hidden treasure. They're filled with joy when they finally die, and rejoice when they find the grave. Why is life given to those with no future, those God has surrounded with difficulties? I cannot eat for sighing. My groans pour out like water. What I always feared has happened to me. What I dreaded has come true. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest. Only trouble comes." My goodness. So Job literally cursed the day of his birth. So he's finally spoke out against how he was, I would say, truly feeling, because of the pain of it just becoming too much for him. He really cursed it bad. Verse 10, "Cursed that day for failing to shut my mother's womb, for letting me be born to see all this trouble." And then 13, "Had I died at birth, I would now be at peace. I would be asleep and at rest." 17, for in death the wicked cause no trouble, and the weary are at rest." And then 23, "Why is life given to those with with no future, those God has surrounded with difficulties?" And just verse 3, "Let the day of my birth be erased in the night I was conceived." And then verse 5, he said, "Let the darkness and utter gloom claim that day for its own. Let a black cloud overshadow it, and let the darkness terrify it." He was not playing. He's mad. But he's been through so much, in such a short amount of time. Um, and then this one right here, 8. Let those who are experts at cursing, whose cursing could pretty much rise Leviathan, curse that day. He's even calling on the super cursors, like the people who can curse and curse well, the experts, to curse for him. Like, so it just shows like what now he's really showing like how heavy all this stuff is on him that is happening. Him losing everything, now his health is like feel like it's failing. But when I did read this, like I did feel bad. Because he was a blameless man. But then again, it's like that doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what we do. We are still not exempt from like trials, tribulations, and struggles and hardship. Because Jesus had to go through it. So if Jesus had to go through it, why wouldn't we? You know. But it also made me think like it's hard for us. I think I talked about it like the last video. Like I know for me personally, it's really hard for me when I'm in something, like in the valley, in the struggles, in the hardship. It's really hard for me to see the light when I'm just really in it and going through it. And a lot of times when we're struggling, we kind of forget what God has done for us in the past. And here it makes me realize, or it makes me think of like maybe Job, like in his struggling, in his suffering, in his hardship, he's focusing on the hardship. He's focusing on what he's going through right now versus what God has done for him already. And like I said, it is so hard when you are in it, especially when you're dealing with physical, like the physical, like when your health is failing. Because to me personally, health is like it's like one of the most important things, because it's like you can have all this materialistic stuff and be rich and all that and money, but if your health is not right, none of that matters. So to me, like health is like one of the most important things, if not the most important thing that people should take care of. That's why they say your body is a temple. Take care of it, you know, because you only get one body, one life. And all this materialistic stuff can't bring you back to health, you know. It might can help with the expenses of medical bills and stuff, but ultimately, if you're already just taking care of your body, you won't have to worry about that stuff. But yeah, when your health fails, like it really does test you. Yeah, like I feel bad. He said, verse 26, I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest. Only trouble comes. That verse right there also made me realize that I feel like in his struggles, he forgot what God has done for him, how God has blessed him. And it's like, if God has blessed you before and kept you and just provided for you, he will do it again tenfold. Like he'll do it. But you have to go through struggles. You have to go through hardships and just keep him at the front and at the foundation. But like I said, I know it's hard while you're in it, because I struggle with that to this day. But yeah, what are y'all thoughts on this? Like, and this is titled Job's first speech, so that tells me he's gonna have some more speeches. But how do y'all feel when y'all read this? Like, can you relate to how Job is feeling right now? Have you ever been through something that was so traumatic or just so overwhelming that you cursed the day that you were born? How did God get you through it? How did you draw closer to God? Did it bring you closer to God? Did it make you separate from God? You know? I just want to know y'all thoughts and what verses stood out to you in this chapter. But this is heavy, and it made me feel sad. It made me feel bad for him. Have empathy for him, but I can relate to Job. Like, I understand when you're in it, it's hard to see the light, but you have to kind of remember that God is in control. He has the final say. If he wakes you up, he's not done with you. So he has something in store. It's a testimony. It's a, he's has, it's something to build your faith as well as to help bring other people closer to Christ. But yeah, what do y'all think? Oh my gosh, like this. I read this. I was like, oh no, he finally, because the first 1 and 2, I'm like, he's perfect. he's a perfect, blameless man. But now job 3, I'm like, okay, here we go. He's acting like us. I can relate to him now. But yeah, but just let me know, like, what do y'all think about job 3? Can you relate to job in chapter 3? What are some things that, you don't have to be specific if you don't want to, but it can be a testimony to somebody else. But what are some things that you might have went through that made you want to curse the day that you were born, or that you blame God for, but also share how God delivered you from that, and how it has shaped your relationship and your faith with Christ today. I think that would be beautiful for people to see who are currently in storms. But yeah, I love y'all. Have a blessed day. And I pray y'all are able to dive into the book of Job with me and just share your insights, your thoughts, all the good things. But yeah. All right. Love y'all. Bye.